The president claims these measures will correct trade imbalances, revitalize domestic manufacturing, and eventually bring down prices for Americans. Critics warn of higher consumer costs and potential global retaliation. President Trump is using the power of the U.S. economy to negotiate with America's trade partners.
April 2nd, 2025 will go down as one of the most important days in modern American history.
Calling it Liberation Day, the president is promising to break U.S. reliance on foreign products. He says it will level the playing field with nations that impose tariffs on U.S. goods.
They're reciprocal, so whatever they charge us, we charge them.
You should trust what this president did for you in his first term. He effectively utilized tariffs while driving down inflation.
The administration has not released details on the tariffs and what countries will be most affected, but the president reportedly expected to impose a 20% charge on most imported goods. Not all analysts believe the tariffs will have a major impact on the economy, but some consumers fear they'll see rising prices.
Canned goods might go up because of tin, like all these prices, and they're just going to be rolled right into the consumer's pocketbook.
There's also concern tariffs could disrupt supply chains.
The current supply chains, a lot of those were built out over the course of 10, 20, 30 years. And now if you turn trade policy on its head, you can't just wave a magic wand and change those supply chains.
In Congress, there's pushback on both sides of the aisle. New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker holding the Senate floor with a record 25-hour marathon speech to highlight Democrats' objections to Trump's sweeping actions, including the tariffs.
Are you better off than you were 72 days ago under this president's leadership on the verge of his so-called Liberation Day that's going to drive prices up even more?
Maine Republican Susan Collins told CBN News she's worried about the effect on industry in her state.
It's going to be in trouble if there's a tariff of 25% put on pulp.
On Wall Street, some investors are nervous about the impact on the U.S. economy. Goldman Sachs has raised the probability of a recession from 20% to 35%. The European Union and Canada have signaled their intention to respond with countermeasures.
We have the largest single market in the world. We have the strength to negotiate.
As I made clear to President Trump in our call last week, I will reject all attempts to weaken Canada, all attempts to wear us down, to break us down, so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen.
The White House indicates that the president remains open to negotiations.
The president is always open to taking calls.
The president acknowledges Americans could feel some short-term pain. The big question is how much and for how long. In Washington, I'm Tara Mergener, CBN News.
Well, in my education, limited education on economics, it was when tariffs were ever discussed, the word ruinous was always in front of it. So ruinous tariffs, and everyone liked to point to President Hoover and the Great Depression, that you had this incredible stock market crash and liquidity and loans all evaporated, and he put in tariffs, and that actually made things much worse. We'll see on this one. Markets do not like uncertainty, and so we're certainly seeing the impact of the threat of tariffs. And here that we all, today what's going to happen is causing a lot of pain in the stock markets. I think it's even down to the consumer. Consumer spending is way off because everybody goes, what's our future? Where are we going with this? On the president's defense, there is significant imbalance, and if you're having a country charging tariffs on U.S. goods and we don't have reciprocal tariffs to say, okay, if you're going to do it to us, we're going to do it to you, well, there's an imbalance there. But let me point out a very strategic problem. During the pandemic, we found out we couldn't even manufacture hospital masks anymore. That none of that capability was in the United States. We were very dependent on China for some very basic things in our hospitals. We also found out we had problems with our pharmaceutical industry, and all of that manufacturing was now overseas and not here in the continental U.S. And let me add one more to it, computer chips. in our technological age, if we don't have the ability to manufacture right here, that's an incredible strategic weakness. So if this can lead to us having a better strategy going forward for the United States, well, then I'm all for it.